It's going to be a blessing in disguise. If you're anything like most people, you might cringe and roll your eyes a little bit when you hear this phrase. The phrase blessing in disguise is thrown around a lot by people when someone's going through a tough time. And frankly, when you hear this phrase from certain people in certain situations in your life, it isn't always true. However, in today's video, I'm going to prove to you that if you're struggling with retroactive jealousy, obsessive jealousy, if you're struggling with this, it's actually a blessing in disguise. And in today's video, I'm going to explain to you exactly what I mean. My name is Zachary Stockill from the website retroactivejealousy.com. And since 2013, I've been helping men and women just like you from around the world overcome retroactive jealousy in their relationships, often save their relationships and or marriages, and live happier, more peaceful lives. If you'd like more information about my work or you'd like to connect with me personally, please visit my website at retroactivejealousy.com. And if you benefit from my work, if you benefit from this video, please take a minute to let me know by clicking the like button below, making sure you subscribe to my channel, and leaving a comment beneath this video telling me exactly what you think. Retroactive jealousy is, in 100% of cases, I mean this, 100% of cases, a blessing in disguise, if you handle it properly. What do I mean by that? So first off, let's start with the basics. By retroactive jealousy, I'm referring to unwanted intrusive thoughts and often obsessive curiosity and or mental movies around a partner's past relationships and or sexual/dating history. And in my view, if we're going to separate retroactive jealousy into two main categories, there would be irrational retroactive jealousy on the one hand and rational retroactive jealousy on the other. By irrational retroactive jealousy, I'm talking to probably like 90% of the people watching this video. And certainly the people who have invested in my work over the years, bought my course, signed up for coaching with me, people who I've worked with one-on-one. These people are struggling with often completely illogical, often completely unnecessary curiosity, intrusive thoughts, and highly charged emotional responses around their partner's past relationships and or sexual history. In other words, there's no real deal breakers in their partner's past. There's nothing serious in their partner's past that would justify their feelings and emotions in the present. This is what I struggled with many years ago when I was struggling with retroactive jealousy, and this is what most people, frankly, struggling with this issue, people who find my work, this is what most people are struggling with. On the other hand, there is something more akin to, shall we call it, rational retroactive jealousy. In other words, these are people struggling because they get the very real sense, often with a lot of evidence, that there are genuine red flags in their partner's past. Their partner partook in certain activities in the past, they made certain choices in the past, they demonstrated a consistent pattern of behavior, often over many years, that demonstrates a really big clash in values between the sufferer and their partner that represents a glaring red flag or often a series of red flags, all of which could spell doom for the relationship moving forward, all of which indicates a potential serious conflict in values. So that's more rational retroactive jealousy. My thesis with this video, and I have a lot of evidence to back this up, which I'll get to in a moment, the main point that I'm trying to get across is regardless of what kind of retroactive jealousy you're struggling with, it will be a blessing in disguise as long as you take the time, effort, attention, energy to actually handle it. So let's tackle irrational retroactive jealousy first. If you actually invest in getting this problem handled, if you actually take action, if you actually get the message that I believe irrational retroactive jealousy is trying to tell you, the message that perhaps your subconscious is trying to tell you, you will emerge from this experience a completely new person. This was true in my own experience many years ago. I am not the same man today that I was back when I was struggling with retroactive jealousy. I don't have the same kind of relationships today that I experienced back then. I don't have the same kind of people in my life that I had back then. I have upped my expectations of my life in general since then. And frankly, my life has never been better. Even though it was pure hell, and I mean that very seriously, retroactive jealousy was hell. Struggling with constant intrusive thoughts, mental movies, and obsessive curiosity about my girlfriend's past, my now ex-girlfriend's past, was absolute hell. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy, and I mean that. That said, in the rearview mirror, looking back all these years later, I am so glad I had that experience because I know deep in my bones that I would not have done the work that I've done on myself had I not had that experience. And thus, my entire life would have been far, far worse as a result. If I'd never gone through that hell years ago, there's no way, there's no chance that I'd be enjoying my life as much as I do today, that I'd be enjoying the relationships that I've had since then as much as I do today, that I would have had the skills, really, to bring the people into my life that I've brought into my life since then. Retroactive jealousy was a painful, though absolutely necessary, wake-up call for me as a man. And I really mean this. In a lot of ways, I look at my life, through the lens of before retroactive jealousy and after retroactive jealousy. And this is not a sales pitch, because if you don't want to invest in my work, if you don't believe what I'm saying, that's fine. Go to my website. Read some of the testimonials that I've received from people over the years. You can find it listed under testimonials on my website. Watch some of the other videos from retroactive jealousy survivors that I've hosted on this channel. And by the way, I've kept in touch with many of these individuals over the years. I launched retroactivejealousy.com back in 2013. I've been doing this a long time. I'm still in touch with a lot of these people. And the feedback is just about universal. The people who actually committed to the work of healing, the people who actually committed to the work of beating this problem for good, their lives, their relationships were never the same. And frankly, their lives and relationships are so much better today, so much better than they were back then. So the crucial takeaway here is take ownership of your problem and put in the work to beat it. Whatever that means for you, if it's signing up for a course, if it's going to therapy, if it's reading books, if it's meditating in a cave for 10 years, whatever it is, commit to beating this problem. Whatever it looks like for you, commit to beating this problem, and I promise you, your life will never be the same, and you'll look back like I am looking back someday in the years to come, looking at your life before and after retroactive jealousy, noticing how much better things are now that this problem is in the rearview mirror. By the way, most people, I really believe this, most people never get that wake-up call that they need. So many people sleepwalk through their entire lives and only kind of raise their head and realize, 5 years have passed, 10 years have passed, 20 years have passed, 30 years have passed, without any real growth, without any real change. Now, for some people, that's fine. But for people like you and I would wager, if you're watching a video like this, okay, mediocre is not quite good enough. A mediocre life, a mediocre relationship is not quite good enough. Retroactive jealousy is almost certainly a wake-up call that you actually really need. On that note, when I let off this video, I was talking about rational retroactive jealousy. Let's tackle that for a minute for the 10% of you or so who are struggling with something we should call more rational retroactive jealousy. By the way, I have a lot of experience working with people in this category as well, because one thing that I've started doing over the years, and one type of client that I actually really appreciate and really enjoy working with, are people trying to get to the bottom of their boundaries and values and relationships, and people also trying to get to the bottom of their partner's boundaries and values and relationships. Trying to make long-term decisions related to things like moving in together, getting married, having kids, trying to suss out whether their partner is a good fit based on that. Really enjoy working with people like that. I have a lot of experience in this area as well. And for these people struggling with more, shall we call it, rational retroactive jealousy, if they reach the conclusion that their partner's past is a deal breaker, that there are serious glaring red flags in their partner's past that they need to be aware of because their values are not the same as their partner's values. And they've thus avoided all that chaos, that drama, that hardship, that nightmare divorce, that nightmare custody battle because they saw genuine red flags, they made the right choice, they cut the relationship short, and they went out to find someone who better shared their values. Again, how can you argue that that isn't a blessing in disguise? So what I'm saying is, regardless of whatever specific type of retroactive jealousy you're suffering with, if you put in the work to really get a handle on this problem, to seriously investigate it, to get the message that this problem is probably trying to tell you, regardless of what that message is, your life will never be the same. This is the wake-up call you probably need. And I'll get an email from you in a year or two telling me that, you know what, Zach, you're right. Retroactive jealousy was absolutely a blessing in disguise. Thanks for watching this video. If you got anything out of this today, please take a minute to let me know by clicking the like button below, making sure you subscribe to my channel, leave a comment beneath this video telling me what you think, and I'll talk to you again very soon.